What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So as you guys read in the title of today's video, I just wanted to go over my favorite high yield dividend ETFs. And for those of you guys that do not know what a high yield dividend ETF is, let's first talk about what an ETF is in the first place. An ETF is an exchange traded fund, pretty much a fund ran by managers of a collection of stocks and different types of equities. But we're going to be talking about high dividend yield ETFs, which is pretty much a collection of dividend paying stocks that are ran by a fund manager. And pretty much how these work, guys, is every single quarter, whenever these collection of companies pay dividends, they're collected by the fund manager, right, whoever that is, and that person or those group of people, they then issue out the dividends to the shareholders of that ETF. So this is a very good way to diversify yourself across many different sectors, many different industries, and many different dividend paying stocks, right? Because if you own one of these ETFs, let's say for this one for example, this is the first one we're going to be talking about. Let's say you own one of these shares at $89, you're pretty much owning a bunch of different companies, with that one share. So it's a very good way to diversify yourself across many different industries, stocks, companies, and sectors. So let's talk about my three favorite high yield dividend paying ETFs. And let's just quickly hop into Safari and talk about HDV, the iShares Core High Dividend ETF Yield first. So we see here, guys, this one's priced at $89.90. And we can see right off the bat, let's see how much dividend does this pay us quarterly. So this one's paying us 3.78% per year. And that's going to be split up into 4 different payments quarterly, right? We get them once per quarter. Whatever 3.78 divided by 4 is, that is what you're going to be getting per quarter in terms of dividend yield. And if we see, what the total return of this particular ETF is over 1 year, total returns about 5.95%, 8.69% over 3 years, 8.78% over 5 years. So, this is not meant to really be an insane growth in terms of capital gains, but it's just really meant to give yourself diversification, give yourself a steady ETF dividend, over time, right? You get these dividends quarterly. It's a very nice steady flow of income. And it's a great way to build an income investment portfolio. So again, 3.78% for the iShares Core High Dividend ETF, paid quarterly, and you have to pay a certain percentage to the management. So we see the fees here are 0.08%. This is one of the cheaper ETFs, dividend ETFs in terms of fees. So now let's look at the different types of holdings that this ETF is comprised of. So we see big named companies are the top 10 of this ETF, right? And that's a very good sign. We want to see companies that are growing their dividends over time, that have been around for a very long time, strong brand name companies. So ExxonMobil, AT&T, Verizon, J&J, Pfizer, Chevron, Procter & Gamble, Cisco, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Merck. These are all companies that have been around forever, guys. They pay very strong dividends, and this is, a great way to diversify your portfolio. And again, just a disclaimer out there, dividends are never guaranteed, right? They're never guaranteed. A company can cut dividends at any point if they want. A fund can cut dividends at any point. But if you're in a fund like this with a bunch of different stocks, it's way more safe that you're going to be getting that dividend because it's comprised of many different stocks. And it's very unlikely that all these stocks are going to cut their dividends at the same time, right, guys? So we can see, the percentage weight of how much shares that this ETF holds, the percentage weight of whatever this ETF is comprised of, right? So 8.76% Exxon, 7.59% AT&T, and then the list goes on. And we can see how many companies are in this ETF, 79 companies. So imagine owning a little piece of each of those 79 companies with just one share or however many shares of this dividend paying ETF. So we could see here, the sectors that all this fund is this fund is comprised of. We see 19% healthcare, 19% consumer staples, 18% energy, and then the list goes on. So, again, very great way to diversify your portfolio. And another thing to mention is that this one's by BlackRock, the iShares. And if you have the Fidelity platform, you can actually trade these ETFs commissions free. And Fidelity's commission's $4.95. So that means you'll just save the $4.95 if you buy these shares and if you sell the shares, right? So that's a very cool thing. Now let's talk about the second ETF that I wanted to talk about today, which is DVY. This one's priced at $101, right? And this one's kind of at the peak. It's more towards a resistance point in terms of this 180-day chart. And if we look a little bit over the longer term chart, it's towards the peak of its uptrending pattern, right? So if I were to invest money right now into one of these, I would probably pick HDV over this one because it's more at a dip buy opportunity. And again, I'm not looking to buy at the top and have these shares fall down, even though this is an income investing portfolio or income investment, right? We're going to be using this for just dividends, not really for capital gains. I still want to get in at a good price, right? So, that's why I have actually an alert on HDV at 88.50 because I do want to add more shares of HDV in my dividend portfolio, right? I have a separate portfolio that's just dividend paying stocks, dividend paying ETFs. I might share that with you guys in the next coming weeks, next coming months. We'll see how that goes. But let's talk about DVY quickly, show you guys what is in this particular ETF. So this one, guys, a little bit higher in terms of the total return, 9.5% over 1 year, 12.75 over 3 years, 12.39 over 5 years. Total assets about $17 billion. Very nice there. Let's see what the dividend yield on this one is. 3.29% dividend yield, right? And the expense ratio is about 0.38%. So a little bit more expensive to own these shares. But again, these shares appreciate higher in value over the past 3, 5, and 1 years in terms of capital gains. So if you were to hold these, over the past couple of years, you would have made more money holding these than HDV. But again, it's all preference. It's all what you guys want to hold in terms of the bunch of stocks that are in, the ETF, right? So now let's look at what stocks are comprised in this particular ETF. So this one, guys, it has 102 stocks, a little bit more than the previous ETF that we saw. And this one, CenturyLink, One Oak Inc., Ford Motor, AT&T, very big brand names here, First Energy Corporation. And these ones, guys, they're a little bit more diversified than the HDV ETF. We saw in the HDV ETF, right, there was some more heavy weight towards these top names of AT&T, ExxonMobil, Verizon, J&J, Pfizer. But here we see, most of them are in the 1 to 2% range, meaning that it's way more diversified across all these different companies. ExxonMobil, Exelon, Pfizer, right? Chevron. So these are big brand name companies that have been increasing their dividends over the past couple of, decades, right? So these are big brand name companies. So this is, again, a very nice dividend high yielding ETF to give you guys some passive income, to give you guys, some diversity in your portfolio. So now let's talk about this next one. Oh, and again, DVY, this one right here, if you're on Fidelity, you can buy this one commissions free as well. So this next one we're going to be talking about is a Vanguard ETF, ticker symbol VYM. And all of these companies in these 3 ETFs that I'm talking about, they're all United States companies. There's no international companies. Just throwing that out there just to let you guys know. So now we see VWM or VYM. This is comprised of 405 stocks. And let's talk about what stocks are in this one here. JP Morgan, Johnson & Johnson, Exelon, Wells Fargo, Chevron, AT&T, Pfizer. We've noticed that out of these past 3 ETFs, a lot of the same companies are in, all of these different ETFs. So again, it's all preference. It's all what you like in terms of the companies, which companies you like the best in terms of each of these different ETFs. So that's what you got to do on your own. You have to do your own research before making a decision on which one you would want to put your money into. Let's say you're a more you're not really a risk, you're not a big like risk taker in terms of investing. This one might be one of the better ones for you because it's highly diversified. 405 stocks, guys. That's insane diversification. So let's see what the yield is on this one. I don't know if it's showing me here. Let me see if I can go to Yahoo Finance really quickly for you guys. Yahoo Finance. Let's see what the VYM yield is. I'm sure it's on here. VYM, not gym, not gym. It's not the gym time yet, guys. It's not gym time yet. Vanguard High Yield Dividend ETF, year to date 2.47 with the yield of 2.87. So the dividend yield on VYM is a little bit less than the two previous ones, right? But again, it's way, way, way more diversified than the two previous ones that we just talked about. So let's look at VYM's chart. Let's see if it's peaking out. So see this one, guys, as well as the DVY one. They're both peaking out in terms of their charts. So if I were to put money into one of these three right now, right, if I didn't have money in any of them, I would put money into HDV most likely. And I just like the diversity and the holdings of HDV and the yield and the low expense ratio of HDV the most out of all of them. So that's pretty much my top three favorite high yield dividend paying ETFs. And just to quickly go over it, guys, ETFs, there are a very good way to diversify your portfolio because each ETF is holding a bunch of different stocks, guys. The first one's holding 79 stocks. The second one's holding 100 stocks. The third one's holding 405 stocks. So, you're going to be getting the dividends from all these different companies that have been paying dividends for years, and they have a very good dividend track record. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and join the Facebook group and the Discord chat. Both are linked down below in my description, as well as the first pinned comment down below in the comment section. Do your own research whenever it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market. Do not buy or sell based off of my opinion or anybody else's opinion out there, because that's not how you're going to become a self-sufficient trader over time. So again, if you guys found value in this video, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.